Hi everyone, Karen from Stitches and Things. Today I'm going to have a little look at why yarn shreds. So sometimes it might be when we're sewing up, we find we can't use a particular yarn because the way we're sewing up is unraveling our yarn. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at the anatomy of yarns and some reasons why they shed and some hints and tips to stop them from shedding, or shredding, I should say. So there are lots of different styles of yarn. Some have many plies. This one has one single ply. This one has about 20 strands in it, firstly. So they're all different styles of yarn and they all work a little bit differently. So take a look at some hints and tips that I have that will hopefully get you some really good results. Okay. All right, so firstly we need to have a look at the different anatomy of the yarns. So I've got a few different styles of yarn here that we can have a look at. This one is your crepe. So when you look at a crepe, it is 3 strands that are almost plaited together. So that one won't shred quite so easily because some of it's twisted one way and some is twisted the other way. This is Clackheaton. This is a standard plied knitting yarn, and you can see it's made up of multiple strands and then it's all twisted together. So that's a plied yarn. Then we get, this one is a cotton. So the cotton has a twist on it, but it's got little strands in it. So bazillions of little strands, and then the whole thing is twisted, but it hasn't got much twist. Like, it's got that much twist. It doesn't take much unraveling for this to become shredded. So it's probably still strong, but it will look, you won't have a nice finish on it if this one unravels. And I'll show you how things unravel. This one is a little piece of Norrow. So Norrow is what we call a roving style yarn that's got almost no twist on it. So the problem we have with these, a lot of these, they're technically a one strand that the twist has been locked into them through probably a heat process or something. So what happens with these is that it doesn't take very much twist and they will shred. So this could be the way that you're sewing up. So if you're sewing up and you're sewing the same way the whole time, you'll find you're going to be unraveling your yarn and then it's going to twist. But in the same respect, if you are aware that your yarn will shred if it's untwisted, then you need to try and add some extra twist in it. So that now is just about impossible to break because we've added some twist to it. So if you're sewing up, be mindful if your yarn's unraveling to add some twist, because the twist is like, oh, I did break it then, but that took a fair bit to break compared to half a twist and it's gone. So be careful with those roving style yarns. So this one here, that is Patent Sierra. So it's the same thing, quite strong like that. But as soon as we unravel it, it's not too bad because it seems to have like a little fibre in it. It's not too bad, but you can see it's kind of fluffy and a bit messy. That's the sort of extent of the yarn. But because it's got the acrylic in it, does make the strength, but it still will shred off if it's unravelled. There's some people complain, oh, you can't cast on with particular yarns because they shred, they're not good yarns, but it's generally technique. So this is I've just picked a really chunky yarn on big needles. This one is, there's 4 strands plied together, really quite strong when it's together. When it's shredded, each one will come apart. But the main reason why I'm showing you this is with our thumb method, we tend to unravel our yarn. So you can see the yarn that's on my thumb is untwisting and unraveling. Now, if that was a yarn that didn't have a lot of substance to it, about this time now it will shred off, and then you'll be running to your yarn shop saying, this yarn's no good, it's faulty, it's shredding. So you can see we're unraveling it. If that happens with these kind of yarns, let go, let it twist back up again and keep going. But The other thing you can do, if you find that you just can't deal with that, then don't cast on with your thumb method. Cast on the regular way, like cable cast on or a different cast on, one that doesn't unravel your yarn. I've just got a little video using some elastic to give you a bit of a visual on what happens depending on the way your yarn comes off the ball. So just take a look at this little video of the elastic, and that's a bit of an eye-opener. All right, here's a very cool little demo on how yarn can twist when it comes off the ball. This is obviously elastic and it's flat, but it gives us a really good demo. I'm going to pull about 1.5 meters off, and as you can see, it's twisting, so it's getting twist added to it when we're pulling it off. Now, if I just turn this over, and now I'm going to pull another 1.5 meters off. It is untwisting as I pull that other 1.5 meters off. There you go, twist is gone. So by just turning that over, so it depends on which way your ball's sitting up, depends on whether you're adding twist or undoing twist. So you can see when we're working with the elastic, now I know elastic has nothing much to do with yarn, but you can just see that if we sat a ball down and we pull the yarn off the outside, that it is either going to unravel or curl up. So if your yarn is doing the opposite and you find that you're working everything you do, your yarn is twisting up and you're ending up with it twisted, it might just be a matter of turning your ball over. If you're working from the inside, it might be poke that yarn back through the opposite side and pull it from the other way. One way it's going to unravel because it's coming out of there off a fixed object, and it may be raveling or unraveling or raveling depending on which way off the ball it comes. So that's when sometimes these yarn spinners that actually spin the yarn so it's coming off without twisting can be the go. It's just a matter of figuring out the yarn that you're using, how it's going to work with the way that you're pulling the yarn off the ball. If you're finding something shredding, then you need to be working from the opposite end of the yarn. So it might be instead of using from the outside, you might use from the inside, or instead of pulling it off this way from the ball, that you pull it off this way. It's quite surprising how much of a difference it makes, as you can see by the elastic demonstration. You know what happens when you pull the yarn off your ball, or in that case it was a spool, but same thing. It's creating that little problem. So just have a look at how your yarn's made up, have a little test, see how strong it is before you're about to cast on with it. So this one here, if we twist it, it's fine. If we untwist it and we started to cast on with that, then I'd have to be really careful with my thumb method because it would shred to pieces and then I wouldn't be a happy girl. So just take a look at your yarn, do a few little tests on an end to see how well it's going to stand up to things, and then decide which way you're going to pull the wool off it, the way you're going to maybe put it on a wool stand, or some way of getting the yarn off there where it's not going to twist. And different knitting styles will twist or untwist yarns too. So same with crochet. Some people, the way they crochet, their style, will twist or untwist yarn. Hopefully this has been helpful, and it'll make you look a little more closely at your yarns to see how they work and to get better results.